Sheer, you put this pretty well on a conversation we had the other day, because we're generally in the same space, with the spacers. You said that I have framed my argument incorrectly to a certain degree. I think you are right. Tell the people what. Help me help myself.
You're saying basically that unless you are a volume type of guy or a guy that's going to go out and hit 5 threes in a game, you're not going to take a team out of the zone. And you made a good point by saying, like, you want guys that hunt threes, not guys that once in a while make 3, right? Like, you brought up Carabin. Like, we saw Carabin in the title game pulling up off the dribble and hitting threes. The guys that hit 2 or 3 games that everyone is in love with, they're not changing a game nearly as much as people think.
Let's talk about Xavier Amos. I think is a perfect example of this. Transfer from where? Northern Illinois or Western, one of those directional schools that a lot of people on the board want over Trey Townsend. And I want Trey Townsend. And a big thing is they say, well, he can't space like Amos. Amos is not spacing anything. Amos is 3.5 threes per game that he's going to take. Nobody is that is not bringing any spacing. That is essentially like having Keyshot here. Nobody is going to respect that. Now, if you want to talk about other positions, cool. But if you're looking at 2 players and one is clearly better than the other, but the other shoots 3 threes per game, and you think that that's going to lead to spacing, you are wrong.
Well, let's bring up Amos because he was kind of the love child of Wildcat Authority a little bit, right? So, number one, you got to realize that Amos played for a below 300 team in KenPom in the worst defensive conference in America, right? I'm not making that up.
Right.
You look at his stats. Can he hit some threes? Yes. He had 4 games this season with 4 threes or more, which is pretty solid, right? Cool. They also came against Western Michigan, Ohio, and all that. So, it's like, what are you doing it? Against Marquette, he didn't hit a 3. He scored 8 points, right? Against Iowa, he was 2 for 11 from the field for 6 points. Like, it's just because a guy averages, like, when you take a look at his average, he made 1.5 out of 4 threes a game. 1.5 threes a game is what he made.
Right.
So, what are we doing here?
That's not doing anything. You don't take him over a better player just because he's going to do that. It's like with Keyshot. It's really cool that Keyshot was able to make a few threes. Keyshot was left open all season for a reason. Nobody cared if Keyshot shot threes. So,
by the way, Keyshot half a 3 less a game.
Right, exactly. Does anybody look at Keyshot and say that, that was a guy that spaced the court for Arizona? Again, it's a cool story, but he also was not somebody that spaced the court. So that's where I'm at. If you're looking at somebody and you're like, all right, this guy's clearly better than this guy, but this guy will take 3 threes a game and he'll make 37%. That to me is a solution in search of a problem. Sure.
Yeah, it's just, I think people want shooters so bad that they're willing to ignore everything and just say, like, that guy can hit a 3. Like, right. It's like, it's, like, here, look, I'll take this example. Azuolas Tubelis could hit a 3, right? Mm-hmm. Did anyone care if Azuolas hit a 3?
No.
Princeton's literal strategy was to let Azuolas shoot jumpers.
Right. You wanted him.
He hit threes. He could hit a couple threes a game. Why not? But that's just not what you do. Like, there's very few players in all of college basketball that'll literally change an opposing defense because of their ability to shoot.
And this is where I think the argument gets lost with the NBA as well, because in the NBA, these guys are totally different. Everybody in the NBA generally can shoot, and if you can't shoot, you can probably do something that's entirely different, where you basically in the NBA, you can't just not guard somebody that's on the court. They're probably going to actually beat you. In college, there's guys that I just do not have to guard because it's college. These guys are in college many times for a reason. So again, Sheer, I think you helped me out many times. I'm a beetle on my back trying to make my points. Sheer, you came over and you saw my legs and you put me down on the right side of the pavement. I very much appreciate that.